Kia ora everybody and welcome back to the kitchen. It is peach season, so we've been busy picking all the peaches off our tree today because we've got this cyclone coming. So we're going to be making some peach, pineapple, possibly passion fruit jam. So let me show you how that looks. I've got some peaches that I've chopped up and they came off our tree today, some pineapple that I had in the fridge and a couple of apples. Plus I've got, you can just see under there, the zest of one orange and the juice of one orange. Now the reason why I've got apples in there is because these two fruits here don't give off much pectin, and pectin is the thing that naturally sets jam. So we want our jam to set. So I'm going to put all this on the stove top, and that's probably about all the juice that I'm going to add so far, and we'll go from there, and I'm going to start popping it up. Okay, see you soon. Okay, I've got this on the boil at the moment, just on a medium to high heat, and the juice from the oranges seems to be doing okay. I want to be able to draw out as much juice from the fruit as possible rather than adding any more water to it. You know, the more water that we add to it, then the more it's got to reduce, and that takes time, and I'm a bit too time poor. So I'm putting this, just going to let this do its thing, and then we'll have a look at it soon, eh? Right. That's 10 minutes later, and it's starting to get all pulpy and soft, and the fruit's cooking beautifully. Lots and lots of juice, which is really, really good. So what I'm going to do is, I've got two options. I can either leave it chunky like that, which I don't want on into chunky jam, but I'm going to put the masher through it. Or you can put it through a food processor once it cools down a little bit, but you have to reheat it again. I'm just going to mash it up. So I'll show you what that looks like before and after. That's what it looks like after I've pulped it up with the masher. So now I'm going to add my sugar. Now, as a rule, you know, like most people that make jam do a cup for cup, a cup for a pulp, cup of pulp to a cup of sugar, but I think that's way too much sugar. So I'm going to use a bit of a guesstimate here and figure that maybe that's about 4 cups of pulp there. So I'm going to add a couple of cups of sugar and see how we go. Okay, let me do that. Here's my sugar. I've used raw sugar because it just makes me feel a bit better about myself rather than the processed white stuff. And I'm just going to give it a stir around and make sure that we've got enough water in there too, so that it won't stick. Okay, and then I'm just going to let it do its thing. In the meanwhile, while that's bubbling away there, I've got some jars. I've got a few jars here, and these are just, you know, old jam jars that we've got here. Make sure you've got the lids that, can you see that go like that pop in. Now I'm going to take that lid off and give it a boil, and I'm going to put these jars into an oven at about 50 degrees just to be able to warm them through, to make sure that we kill off any bugs, so that when we put the hot jam in, once it's cooked, because it's nowhere near cooked, into the jars, that it's going to be sterile. Okay, and then that bit there should suck down like that. Okay, so let me do that, and I'll show you what that looks like soon. It's been going for about 10 minutes now, and I've only got a small batch, so it's going to be a lot quicker than doing big batches. Don't forget to use a good flat bottom spoon and scrape the bottom, okay, of your pot, so that it doesn't stick. Okay, and just check it regularly. Turn the heat down if you need to, and just check it regularly. What we want is, we want all that juice to sort of reduce, so that it becomes thick, and then we can bottle it. See you soon. Right, we are nearly at the end. It's way thicker. Can you see how much thicker that is? So lots of that water has disappeared and fogging up my camera. So I'm just going to leave that for a few more minutes. My jars are in the oven. My lids are here boiling, so that they're nice. They're going to be nice and sterile. And the rubber that's around the rings inside will soften up as well, in preparation to put onto the jars. So now's the time to get your gear ready. You need a wet cloth, or a clean wet cloth, and get ready to bottle these up. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. It's the weirdest angle ever, but I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, the jam's ready, so I'm going to turn everything off. And I picked this up from, I think it was the warehouse. It cost me a couple of bucks for that, and it's fantastic because it's a good way to put the jam, hot jam, into the jars. So all I'm going to do is just chuck it straight into those jars like that. Remember, my jars are hot, so the jam's hot, so it's not going to break the jar, because that's what we don't want, is cracked jars. Okay, and that should just about be it. Put that to the side. Let's have a look. Yep, that looks good. I'm going to add a little bit more because I want it to get as close to the top as I can. That should be plenty. I've got my clean cloth here, and I'm going to just see how there's some jam there. that'll stop the seal. So I'm just going to give it a wipe around so that the lip of that glass jar is clean. And I'm just going to grab a pair of tongs. Hang on. Spoon will do. Right. And here's our hot lids. Hot lids going onto our hot jar with our hot jam. Okay. And that is pretty much it. Whoop. Bottled up and it's all ready to go. They're cooling down naturally, and let me show you what that looks like. How good is that? That is our peach and pineapple jam with a little bit of orange in it. Okay, now you can use whatever you've got left over in your fridge. If you've got some leftover nectarines, you know, then make nectarine and grape or something like that. Just use what you've got. Okay, hope you guys are well. Get easy and we'll see you soon, eh? Ka kite anō.